Here is the Crescendo Music Education Podcast, episode 107. This podcast is being recorded on the lands of the Turrbal people. I acknowledge them as the traditional owners of the land and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. They were the first music makers on this land. And welcome to the Crescendo Music Education Podcast. And this is the last in our series where we're having a little look at each year level that I teach, that we teach, because I'm joined again by my intentional collaborator, Deb Brydon. Hello, Deb.
Hi everyone.
So we're going to have a little bird's eye look, little view at year 6. So the year 6s are turning, oh goodness, what is it? Prep 5. Deb, you work out
11.
They're turning 11.
Oh, look, I've got a year 6. Well, yes, 11 or 12.
So what
Mine's
Deb
turning
means
in
is
a week, but he's the youngest.
Yes, Deb's personally got a year 6. That's what she means.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, 11 or 12.
Okay. So these little people, hormones are starting to flow through some of their little bodies. They know they're going to high school soon. They're the big fish in the little pond of primary school. And we all know that that can present difficulties. Like when we had, not that long ago, we had grade 7s in our primary school. And it was the grade 7s that got like this. And now, of course, 7s are gone. So now the 6s have taken their place.
Yeah.
I am the big fish in the little pond.
Yep.
So this is where, again, which I think I mentioned in grade 5, for me, this is where you've got to really cash in all the credit that you've earned over the years working with them. I really like my year 6s this year. We're having a really good time. And I have taught these kids since prep. So this is the 7th year I have been teaching these kids. So, I should have a lot of credit in the bank. So I will just start giving you a little overview about what I think about year 6. A lot of time in year 6 tends to be, especially towards the end of the year, about their graduation. And I want to say right up front, I've never liked the term graduation. Right? I live with it because that's what they say, but it's not graduation. To me, graduation is you have gone and studied voluntarily and you have got your degree in education or your whatever. You've worked hard. That's graduation. This is called compulsory promotion to the next level of schooling. That's not graduation. Sorry, that's my little bugbear. But I live with the word graduation because everyone uses it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. So that's just a little personal thing. So back to graduation. At our school, because music is a big part of our school, music plays a big part in their graduation ceremony, which is in the evening. Our instrumental kids form an orchestra, all of the year 6s. So the band kids join with the string kids and they play a little piece together, which is very difficult, as those people who are involved in bands and strings know they learn in different keys. So they have to sort of compromise and work something out. But they get together and we have literally a year 6 orchestra. And that's very special. The year 6s from our choirs, and we have a senior choir that's grade 5 and 6, but just the 6s will have a couple of practices and a special piece and they will sing. That's the year 6 choir. And where of course I help out with those two things because I'm the choral music coordinator and I'm the instrumental music coordinator, though I don't conduct those things. But where I come in is the year 6 song. All of the year 6s sing a song. And that just takes a lot of organising, planning, practicing, and that seems to take up the latter half of the year. So that's a big thing, the graduation ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At my school too. And we write a song for the teachers as well. So we do a graduation song, which is usually a pop song of some kind that, everyone sings and, different one every year. But then we also write a song that they sing for their teachers about their teachers. So each class writes a different verse and each class sings their own verse. And I use, folk songs as the tune. So I've been at this school for 3 years now. The first year I did Liza Jane as our tune. The second year I did Rocky Mountain. And this year I'm doing I Like the Flowers. And we just write a verse or two, maybe if it's short, about their teacher. And it's really lovely. It's lovely for them to reflect on primary school. And we're just doing that little bit of text setting, really, and fitting it into the music and just do it as a class. And then the whole class sings it. And it sounds great as well because it's, of course, they're singing in a good key and which, the pop songs are not always exactly what you would choose. And it's a bit more limited range perhaps. And yes, they just sound really good. And the teachers are really touched by it as well. So that takes up a fair bit of my fourth term, practicing that and writing that. And then we also make a video of our graduation song, not that one, the other one, the pop song, and where each class films, a verse or whatever around the school in different places around the school. So then the kids have got that as a little keepsake of their time in primary school with all their friends in it and all of that sort of thing. And I started doing that in COVID when we couldn't do a live performance. And then now we do both. We play the video on the screen behind them and then they sing live as well. So a bit of fun, a lot of hard work.
And I am borrowing from Deb the videoing around the school this year. So I'll divide up so that, 6A will have verse 1 and 6A can choose where they wish to be with their friends. And that will be a really nice addition. Last year, we actually had an original song that was written mainly by an exceedingly talented year 6 boy who did all of the backing in GarageBand. Actually, no, he played it in on the piano and then added backing. And then we had a small group, any kids that would like to come and work with us, and with me having the final say with the shaping of the phrases, let's say. And we have a song now that's going to be our song each year, I'm hoping, because I just think that would be nice. And it would not only be a cutting the workload issue, but each class each year cohort could put their own stamp on it. So that's why I thought this year we'll video the kids around the school and put that as part of the video. And again, we'll show that while they're singing on stage. So I'm taking that idea from Deb. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And the other thing that I want to mention with year 6 is I make sure, and in fact, I'm going to put this in my lesson plans too. I want to make sure that I take photos during the music lesson to put in their year 6 yearbook. Depending, some years there's more room for photos than others. Some years they actually have like massive collage of photos on the inside, on the end pages, inside cover.
Yeah.
So if I can get some class music photos in there, I think that's really magic. So I take lots of photos and put it in a folder and share with the teacher / parent that's doing the yearbook stuff. So I think that's just a little hint out there for other music teachers.
Yeah.
Don't get forgotten in that whole yearbook thing, which most schools have and is a big thing. At least get some visuals in there so that music, it lifts the profile of music. I think that
Bit of advocacy.
year 6 is an opportunity for that advocacy, don't you think?
For sure.
So I never, ever, ever seem to get enough time to teach year 6. I just don't. I try and make sure I've covered bass clef because they're about to go to high school, and I'm thinking I've got to make sure they have some, because we work so much. Well, I do anyway, work so much in treble clef because that's where we're singing and that's what we're reading.
Yeah.
So I try and make sure I include bass clef. And the other thing that we really need to not lose sight of is that we have to play games. They're still children.
Oh, for sure.
They have to
I'm
play
not
games.
always great at that, Debbie. Let's confession time. I have to be so conscious about putting in games in year 6.
But by the same token, because they're older, it's not like when I look at how many games I've got in, say, grade 2. Well, there's so many games. They do not need like a new game every week. You need less games, I think, because you don't have time to teach them all for a start, but they would rather just play a familiar game. And as we get down, we'll talk about a couple of the games that we play when we're talking about repertoire. And as with all the other year levels, I'll pop into the notes just a copy of my current overview, and which has changed slightly. Now I look at this, it's changed slightly. This is the version 8.4 of the Australian curriculum. So anyway, so it's slightly historical now, like, oh, it's from last year, and this is slightly different. There's not a lot new apart from bass clef. I add fa and t, we go diatonic. And I try and work quite a bit in diatonic, though I still do pentatonic and la pentatonic. Oh, I love me some la pentatonic stuff. And we talk about form, composition, but it's not a lot new, really.
No. And bringing back those old games, we sort of talked about in the grade 5 session as well, but bringing back the old games that we've played over the years, because year 6 is our culminating time as well.
And one of the things that I would really love to do, not done, this is something for future, Debbie, I would love to somehow list or maybe use Wheel of Names, or I just want a whole lot of games and go, here is a whole lot of games that we've done from prep to year 5. Let's see what we're going to play today, and either get them to choose or do a random thing. It would just be so fun to have them all there. But that's at the moment, that's just a bridge too far. I don't have time to do all that, but I would really like to do that. So let's talk singing.
Sounds great. So I've just got one in here, black socks. They never get dirty, which is great because it's in compound time. And I do a little game with this as well, where they pass around black sock that's got some compound time little mini flashcards inside it. And when they get halfway through the song, they pull out a flashcard and put it down, and at the end they clap it. Just, a bit of rhythmic practice in there as well, but it's a great one for singing.
I love it.
Good fun.
I learnt that from you, and I've never done it. So
there you go.
Yeah, when we get
Pop
off
it in this term.
I will when I get off this. I'm going to have to look back through here, and my planning is done for my next couple of weeks, I tell you. So I hope this is helping our listeners out there with these ideas.
Yeah.
I'll find myself a clean black sock. I won't use a dirty one.
No, you need a new one. Yeah.
The songs I've put in, I love Viva la Musica. I love, it means a lot to me because it was one of the first canons I learnt when I started attending Kodai workshops as a
Yeah.
student. So like I'm talking about since I was like
100 years ago.
101 years. Yeah. Like since I was 19 or something, and I went, this is a magnificent song. So it actually means a lot to me. I think that's nice.
Yeah.
And the Irish Blessing, I love that. And there's a 2-part version that I do with them. And they're great for singing. Great for singing. And I love Sweetly the Swan Sings for Solfa, because that I just haven't found anything better for diatony and early
Yeah.
diatony. And with the do 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 ti la so fa mi re do, so great for singing and playing, and we sing in letter names, and it's just, and it's a lovely little canon. So that's one of my faves for grade 6.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice one. All right, what else?
Well, for solfa, you've got
Yeah.
down
Okay,
on Tidio.
so I like to do this one. I think I put it in grade 4 as well as the introduction to the real song of Tidio. But then there's this great version, Pass One Drink Cup Tidio, that a lady down in Melbourne, I want to say Martina, wrote. And it's just pass one drink cup Tidio, pass one drink cup Tidio, tapping on the drink cups Tidio. And it's a cup passing game as well. So a bit of fun, but it's still got that same solfa that we can revise as well with the high do in it. And another one that I quite like for solfa is Omochio, which Debbie's going to talk about in her games next. But it's great because it's pentatonic and quite easy for them to derive the solfa of each different section.
Yeah.
So, Debbie, maybe straight into that one now when we talk about games.
Oh, the game is just magic. The Japanese, oh heavens,
Japanese, yeah.
rice pounding. I first learnt it at the OAKE, the OAKE conference. Is it the conference? In 2015, when I flew over and went to the conference and flew back. It was too short, but very sweet. And somebody was doing, I wish I could give them credit, but, was all just so big and overwhelming. And it is just the most fabulous game. And I show the kids the video. Oh, I better put in the link, hadn't I? I'll put in the link to the YouTube clip that I show the students, and it just blows their mind. He's the fastest traditional mochi maker in Japan, and it's so fun. And the game is
He's so passionate. I love him.
Yeah, he is. He's wonderful. So I just think that is by far the best game for grade 6. And
hand clappy partner game. Yeah,
yes,
good fun.
Yeah. And I also love Liza Jane, as a clapping game with a partner, which you can do in 2 with a pair, and then you can do it in canon in 4s going across a square. It is just magic. I'm not sure if I have a link to a video of that. I don't think
I'm not sure either. I have a feeling it might be. No, I don't know.
No. I'll see. Let me put in here. I'll see if I can find a link. I'm not sure. Otherwise, I don't know. Otherwise, I might be able to make the video myself. We'll see.
Yeah, I might have to do that. It's fabulous. Yeah. Yes. And my game that I've got in there is chicken and hens, which once again is a bit of a clappy hand moving thing. Who stole my chickens and my hens, and progressively gets more difficult. And there's some great videos of that, of Debbie teaching that in Maryborough at the conference 100 years ago. But yeah, sometimes I forget how to do it, and I just quick Google and up she comes, and Debbie can remind me online. Thanks, Debbie.
Do you know what? I'd forgotten about that. I was just thinking, oh, okay, how can we show people? Oh, hold on.
Yeah, easy.
Oh, love it. Love it. And no, it's a great game. And it's certainly like that year 6 type level because it becomes
Yeah,
quite
it's
complex.
tricky. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love it too because you can just do it in sections. You can just teach that first action and they think, oh, we know the game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then a week or two later,
The next
oh,
week it builds
yeah,
up. Yeah.
let's do the
Agree.
next verse. So I think
Yeah.
that's great that you can string it out and challenge them.
Yeah,
I love it.
totally.
And a fairly recent find for me is Shibuya. Shibuya. Yeah, yeah. I will put in a link to the video from The Office that I show the children, as in the show The Office, the American one, and where they do Shibuya on the bus. This has been gold for my starting to be or already disengaged year 6s because there are some kids, as we said at the beginning, that are starting to shut off a little bit. Shut off's not the, you know what I'm saying. We'll just say a bit.
Become a bit reluctant.
That's a much better word. Thanks, Deb. They've become a bit reluctant. And this is great because it's a chant. They're not singing and they get a chance to make up words. And it's simple. It's got a really clear structure. And I make up a couple and they have the first part. They have the stem for the made up part. And I get them to sit in groups, their own choice, pairs, fours, don't care. And they can just choose one person and they can write about their name. So it's their choice. So if there's someone that thinks, oh, I don't want my name written about, that's okay. They write about someone else. There's always someone in the group that wants it. And they come up with the funniest things. It's magic. It's magic. They really only need to work out 2 rhyming words at the end of line 2 and 4. So just magic. I love Shibuya. I love pass the beat around the room. The way that I do pass the beat about around the room is not in 4/4 or 2/4 or whatever. It's in 7s, 7/4 maybe, 7/8. So it's pass the beat around the room, pass the beat. A lot of people play it, pass the beat around the room, rest, pass the beat.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have the rest. I love it. I love that feeling of the not being even. Pass the beat around the room, pass the beat, and it's one child per syllable, per word, except for round. And it's so fun. And once they can do it, if they say it at the wrong time or if they're late, they sit. And then when they're sitting, you have to inner hear their word. So it's pass the round. So it gets increasingly difficult as more children are out. Once they play it really well, we pass different things around the room, pass the chicken around the room. So I always put whatever we put on the word beat has to be on one beat, even if it's a word like chicken. And we add actions whenever you say that word. Chicken. And if they don't do the action, they're out. Look, it's just fun. You end up with 2 minutes left in a lesson, no time to start this other thing that you thought you might do. Quickly, let's play pass the beat around the room before you go. Loads of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do put the rest in at the end, and I've done it with mass groups, like at our instrumental workshops and things like that, with 150 kids or whatever, in little groups doing it. It's great fun, very portable and quick to learn. Good fun.
Yeah, instant happy, isn't it? I reckon it's one
Yeah,
of those have it up your sleeve.
yeah, yeah. True.
as the music teacher, you just never know when you're suddenly
No,
there's an assembly and someone
in a group
hasn't
of people.
turned
Yeah.
up and someone says, quick, do something. Like, you're the one that's got things up your sleeve. Yeah. I also love Parachute by Rosa. Now, I'll just check with Rosa, and she has allowed me to share it before. I might even be able to put the actual song there so that you can access it. So
Yeah.
if she will share, and she does normally say yes because she's lovely. Thank you, Rosa. Shout out to Rosa. It is one that she's composed where the kids have to swap places under the parachute. Just, oh my goodness, you get out of parachute and grade sixes go wild. And it's just a really lovely song to sing as well. That's one of my favourites. And I'm going to let Deb talk about Treaty.
Okay.
Go
Oh,
for
are
it.
you okay?
Yeah, I am.
Look, okay, sure. We both do a whole sort of unit's the wrong word, but sort of focus on the song Treaty, Treaty, yeah, Treaty now, that one. As we're sort of looking at, music from different cultures and music that has meaning and music that communicates ideas and all of that sort of thing and revitalizes cultures. So yeah, it takes up a fair amount of our year six program at the beginning of the year. But kids quite enjoy getting in and singing it too.
And it is a
So yeah,
great Aussie rock song that we should all
yeah,
know. And
there,
it's the
that's true.
first time that Indigenous language was included in, well, I'm pretty sure it was the
In
first
a
time,
chart,
certainly one of the
yeah,
first times that was actually included. So it's got, it's, although it's an Aussie rock icon song with electric
yeah.
guitars, it's also got Indigenous language. It's got didgeridoos. It's got images of Indigenous people dancing. And it's all based, especially those of you who aren't Australian, it's to remind people that a treaty was promised through the Barunga Statement by Bob Hawke in what was the year?
In 1988.
Thank you. I know I should know, heavens, in 1988. And the treaty didn't come. We actually show the year six as the clip from the ABC News, and that the treaty never came. The year sixes are really horrified. They go, but the Prime Minister, he promised there'd be a treaty. So because there was no treaty came, Dr. Unipingu and Paul Kelly got together and wrote this song saying, as long as this song survives, people will remember that a treaty was promised. Now, what a powerful vehicle music is,
Yeah,
that we are
yeah,
discussing this in our classrooms now. And this is an event that happened in 1988. So I think
yeah,
if you're trying to teach your students that music has meaning and purpose and power, what a great example. Apart from the fact that it's just a really cool song and you hear the kids singing it out in the playground. So I think that's a bit of magic. It would work in year five too, I think.
yeah, probably. But yeah, it's one of those save it ups for me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's going to stay in grade six for me.
Yeah,
Magic
yeah.
song.
I've got two others that I quite like in grade six. One's the burglar song. Late last night by the light of the moon, I saw a burglar that crept into my room. And then they sing individually. Was it you? No, it wasn't me. So it's just that little bit of individual singing, and with the sort of minor sound as well. And they're quite happy to play that and accuse each other of being a burglar. So a bit of fun. And look, I've already talked about I Like the Flowers, but it's great for a little canon. And it seems like a song that they wouldn't get into, but they actually do. And there's this really great video clip of, I think it's Discovery Channel it is. It's a Discovery Channel ad where people sing about, I like the flowers, I like the outback, I like the whatever, different, the underneath the ocean and things like this. And they don't all sing beautifully in the YouTube clip, but it's quite magic. And then the kids want to sing it and make up their own as well. So that's one of my new favorites for grade 6 as well.
I love it. Oh,
And
oh,
also 3 chords. So as we're continuing ukulele in grade 6, it's only got 3 chords in it, so they can play it as well.
oh.
Well, the simplified version's only got 3 chords, perhaps you could say.
Yes. Sometimes I know sometimes when I'm teaching ukulele, I might round some of the edges off some of the chords when you go,
Get a bit
yes,
simpler.
yeah, just the simple version. Yeah, as long as,
Yeah.
love it. Well, Deb, this is the
The
end
end.
of our series where we have a look at each of our year levels that we teach. I just hope that our listeners have gone, that's a good idea. Oh, I might try that. I know I've learned a lot, even though I talk to you virtually daily. I've
Mhm.
still learnt stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've,
Yeah. And remembered stuff. It's the thing. You always forget all these great things that you can do. So yeah,
Mm.
have fun.
I have loved it. And I really thank you so much for joining us. As
No
always,
problem.
I love working with you, Deb.
Back at you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. As we know, laughter relieves stress. Don't lose sight of the funny side of life. I went to the Air and Space Museum, but there was nothing to see. Thank you so much for watching our Crescendo Music Education podcast. For more information about all things Crescendo, including membership and music education resources, visit us at crescendo.com.au. Don't forget to like and subscribe.